Welcome back to another episode of the Brown Sugar Cafe podcast, the place where poetry meets conversation. I'm your host, Terrence P. Elmore, and before we get into today's topic, make sure you hit that plus sign so you don't miss an episode. Also, please subscribe to my blog, thebrownsugarcafe.blog, and if you find any value in this episode or any other episodes, make sure you leave a heartfelt review. So with that being said, let's get to it. What's up, everybody? I hope that you all are doing well. Today in the studio, I have a very special guest. She's going to talk about her blog and also her recent post. Once this episode airs, her post will be available for you all to read. So without further ado, as a matter of fact, do you want to introduce yourself?
You can introduce me.
Okay. Without further ado, I'd like to introduce my wife, Deshanna Nicole Elmore.
Hello. Thank you for that warm introduction.
First of all, I want to thank you very much for being my very first guest. You know, we were cutting up a lot before we started and probably a lot while this is being recorded, but yes, that's okay. Tell us a little bit about your blog.
The name of my blog is I'm Not My Yesterday. We are exhaling and making room for greater.
Okay, I love that. I am not my yesterday. Exhaling and making room for greater?
Correct.
So what was the inspiration behind your blog?
Well, I created I'm Not My Yesterday blog for me to share my story and to have a space that I could talk about like insecurities, things that I've overcome or whatever, my insecurities, low self-esteem, and just a place that we can share stories. It's targeted for women, but everyone's included, so it's not just the women who's going to get encouraged and helped by this, but just a place that we can encourage and uplift one another.
Okay, so you're not starting off your post by saying, "Hey, sis"?
No, I'm not starting off my post by saying, "Hey, sis."
Okay. I'm just wondering because a lot of times I get asked to subscribe to someone's blog or email list, and I get an email and it's like, "Hey, sis," and I'm like, okay. Or sometimes I see posts and then, I'm all for, I really love to see when women are encouraging each other, especially the type of work environment that I used to work in, when seeing women kind of, I don't even know how to describe it, just not really getting along. So it is refreshing to see women support each other. You don't have to include us, but you don't have to exclude us. You know what I'm saying? Understood? Yeah. Okay, so it's no "Hey, sis."
No, it's no "Hey, sis," but I am so glad that you said that, about working in an environment with mostly women, because I haven't always been one to support other females, and it's not because it was like any type of jealousy or anything like that. I've always just been to myself. And so I'm trying to come out more to, support other females, especially, those who I follow on IG or through Facebook, especially when you see them really out there getting to it, you know what I'm saying? And those who encourage others and those who are transparent and who don't mind sharing their stories, just like I said, I'm getting to the point now that I am secure enough to be able to uplift and encourage other females as well.
When it came to starting your blog, would you say it was an easy process, difficult process, or, just in your own words, can you describe how starting the blog was for you?
Starting the blog wasn't an easy process because I would have an issue with talking myself out of things. Like I would get ideas and I would have like these topics to talk about. But when I began to start writing, I would feel like, really, who's going to be listening or who's going to read this? And really, do you really have something to say? And it wasn't easy. It was kind of a difficult process for me because I'm not one to really share a lot of my story, but when I was in prayer and I began to ask the Lord, what can I do to continue to serve, because it's just in me to serve and to help others. And one of the things that he told me was to share my story, just be transparent of things that happen in my life and different relationships, different friendships, just things that I've experienced in life in general. He told me to share my story. So it was kind of hard, because in sharing my story, it was some things that I thought that I dealt with, and some things that I tried to, I guess, avoid and not really think about it, because I pushed it in the back of my mind for so long. And these things, they had to surface, and it was some things that I had to deal with. And so that made the process kind of hard. But as I began to write, he told me that in my writing and me sharing my stories, that's where I will experience healing. So after I heard that, it was like, okay, let's just go for it. And every now and again, I get to a point and get a little stagnant and like, have to really push myself. But I am very thankful for you, my husband, who always encouraged me to just write, just whatever it is, just write. We'll work everything out later, but just write. So that's what I'm starting to do. I'm writing.
Thank you, first of all. And that is very interesting that you were talking about how sometimes you come up with these ideas and have these ideas of things to write, and you feel like nobody would want to read it or listen to it. But a lot of the ideas that I have for my podcast, I've bounced off of you, or you've helped me go in a different direction. Isn't it funny how we can have ideas for everybody else, and when it comes to ourselves, sometimes we doubt ourselves. Like you said, I encourage you to just write, and sometimes I get to a place where I'm just like, what am I going to write? And I'll ask you for an idea, and you help me out.
Yeah. It is funny that sometimes we could be such big cheerleaders for others, but when it comes to ourselves, we sit on the sidelines. Oh, you did a podcast about that. You see what I did there?
Yes, I like that.
But yeah, sometimes we could just root for others, but when it comes to us, just trying to encourage and motivate ourselves, it's just hard. So, I mean, it helps having people on your team and in your corner who, when they see you're in that space, they can encourage you and push you like, hey, go ahead, just do it. Come on, keep pushing.
Okay.
Hashtag.
Okay. Oh,
this is fun.
Okay. And so one of the reasons why I wanted you to come on the show is your most recent post. It should be out by now. Well, when this episode airs, it will be out. Okay. I know you look over there looking like, no, it's not posted yet. But when this episode is out, it will be posted. And Mother's Day is coming up, and this is a time that's difficult for some people. Some people have relationships with their mothers. Some people don't have relationships with their mothers. Some people may not have ever met their mothers. Some people have women who've stepped in and become mothers for them. Some people have lost their mothers, and different things like that. It's not always a happy time for everyone. So I wanted you to come on and encourage my guests, those who may have lost their mother during this time, because you've experienced that yourself at a young age. And so if you want to talk about that a little and also read your blog post for us.
Mother's Day is different every year for me. I lost my mom at the age of 19. I was 19 and she was 44, and she passed away from complications of lupus. And back then, it was like 1997. The disease was, it was not a lot of research and not a lot of knowledge and stuff about the disease itself. So it was like, lupus, what is this lupus? But yeah, she passed away from complications of lupus. And I'm an only child. Me and my father, we have a great relationship. But my mom, that was my best friend. Like, me and my mom were so tight. Like, I mean, it was crazy, our relationship. Like, I could go to her with anything, talk to her about anything, and she was, I know everybody, well, not everybody, but a lot of people say the same about their mother. But my mother was like one of the sweetest and nicest persons that you would ever come in contact with. And it's like I said, she passed away at the age of 44, and I was 19. And back then, it was like I didn't even realize how young she was when she passed away. But every Mother's Day is different, and as the years has gone by, I'm learning, and I've learned to deal with it differently. I wrote a piece that I'm going to be publishing on tomorrow, and it's called "Today I Thought About You," and it's a piece that I wrote. I would say probably back in 2014, 2016, and I honestly forgot that I wrote it. I had it in one of my notebooks that I really don't look at, and I just happened to come across it a couple of weeks ago, and I read it, and I was like, wow, and it just brought back so many memories of my relationship with my mother, and I just, every now, it's funny how different things could jog your memory,
Right.
and make you think of that person, or make you think of a moment or a time or something they may have said. Like it's like I said, I'm an only child, but my mother, she has several sisters and a brother, and so anytime that we have a family function, I'm able to be there and be around them. Like, it helps me because in each one of them I have a piece of her, so it's like she is still here with me.
This is a very lovely piece, and I'm glad that you're here sharing it with us. This is an exclusive.
Yeah, an exclusive.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And let me just put this out here, this disclaimer. I don't consider myself a poet like my husband, the Brown Sugar Cafe.
But you are very nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
yeah. Don't let her sit here and downplay herself. You all will see in a second. Go ahead.
No, but this is a piece, just like I said, that I wrote, and I didn't realize that I wrote it because it's been so many years ago. But this is a piece that I wrote for my mom, and it's called "Today I Thought About You." Today I thought about you. I mean, I think about you all the time, but today it was intentional. I was 19 when you passed away, and it seems like you were just sitting on the foot of my bed looking at yourself in the mirror. You were beautiful. You never lost your beauty, even when sickness tried to take it away. You were so young and full of so much love that you constantly gave, even when I was undeserving. You never stopped loving me. Today, I thought about you. You were on my mind. I remember working the front desk of a hospital a few years ago when a lady approached, and I smelled you. After all these years, I still knew your scent, Beautiful by Estee Lauder. Once you were gone, I would spray your perfume, inhale, and imagine you being right there with me. Then I exhaled, releasing the pain that I've carried from your absence. I lost you so early in life, and that pain has never quite left me. I miss you. Some days are better than others, but today I thought about you. You are on my mind. Thank you for being radiant and always shining your light. Thank you for being delicate and allowing me to see your vulnerability. Thank you for being resilient. And thank you for being strong even in your weakness. Thank you for being mommy.
Yes, hey, that was beautiful. Could you please read some of my poems? Come back on here and read some of my poems.
Sure.
Wow, that was beautiful.
Thank you.
Wow.
Thank you.
Wow.
Thank you. I miss her. And this year, getting close to Mother's Day, I lost my granny last year at the same time, and it was my mother's mother. So after my mom passed away, she stepped in like my mom. And so this year it's a little different because mom's not here and granny's not here either. So it's just I'm dealing with it a little differently, but I'm just so thankful and so grateful for memories, and just to be able to reminisce and still hear them talk and still hear them laughing, and just like it's different. I miss them both.
And I can understand that. I miss her too.
Yeah.
Such a beautiful woman, and I am familiar with that as well. My mother's mother, my grandmother, she actually passed away on Mother's Day.
Mm.
I don't remember the date and all of that because
Mm-hmm.
it's different every year, and I don't really remember the dates that people pass away. I always make this joke when we talk. The only people I know about when they pass is James Brown and Biggie Smalls. It's
Yes.
only because they always talk about March 9th and James Brown died on Christmas, so it just sticks out. But
Yes, I know. I know.
but yeah, so it is, the first couple of years, and sometimes even now around this time, it kind of stings. It
It
is
is.
kind of reminder. I'm thankful for the time that I had with her
Mm-hmm.
and getting to know her on a deeper level when I got older. This is why I want to have you on so we can talk about this,
Yeah.
because I think people get overlooked that have lost loved ones in general.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody's there doing during the time after they pass and up through the funeral, but it seems like those people, and it's not intentional.
It's not.
I think some people think that after the funeral is over, that the people are all of a sudden good now.
Yeah, it doesn't work that way.
Right, because everybody's there around that time, so you're you're feeling okay. You're having community, and it's afterwards when the phone stops ringing and the
Yeah.
text messages stop coming in, and people stop checking, where you're kind of almost alone, to
Yeah.
where it feels more difficult and you having to sit and deal with it.
Yeah.
So I wanted to, in many different ways, it could be, maybe you have an estranged relationship with your mother, and maybe you feeling a pull or a tug to repair that.
Yeah.
So if you have any words you want to say, feel free to.
Well, just like you said, if you do have that type of relationship with your mother, or someone that you consider as a mother, and you might be at odds with them now, and you're feeling a tug to reach out to them, do it. Reach out to them. And those who mothers are still here and you have some type of relationship with her, don't wait until Mother's Day, and don't make a big to-do out of Mother's Day. You should cherish her every day. Let her know that you love her, let her know that you care about her, not only with words but with your actions. Spend time. Like, sometimes that's all it takes is a visit. Sometimes all it takes is a phone call. Sometimes all it took, when my granny was still here, I would just go to her house on Sundays after church, and we would just sit on the porch and talk. And that time was so precious. She would tell me about her week, or we would go in and have Sunday dinner, but just that time that we shared together. And sometimes that's all it takes, is just spending time and having a conversation. And if you have someone, just like I said, who you consider as a mother figure, let them know how much you care about them. Let them know how much you appreciate them. Cherish them now while they're here. I am very thankful for my mother-in-law. I am very, very thankful for her. She has been a mother figure in my life, even before me and Terrence Brown Sugar Cafe, even before we even before we got together. She was playing, she just was always there. I remember the first time I met her and she hugged me, and I felt so much love from her hug, and it was just like, wow, this woman is really genuine. She really cares about people. So I'm very grateful. I'm so thankful that even though my mother is not here, even though my grandmother is not here, I still have women in my life who I can still get that love from. So I cherish those things. I mean, those type of things are very valuable to me.
I really appreciate you being on and sharing a bit of your story, exhaling and making room for greater.
Yes.
So please, please, please tell my guests where they can find your blog and subscribe.
You can find my blog at notmyyesterday.wordpress.com.
Okay. Thank you very much. And make sure you all subscribe to the blog. Make sure you check it out. And that post that she just read, that beautiful, should we call it a poem?
No.
Yeah, that beautiful poem, we're going to call it a poem. Yes, that beautiful poem that you read is live and available now. So if you head over to notmyyesterday.wordpress.com, you'll be able to read it. So please read it, share it, and enjoy it. Anything you want to say before we get out of here?
Yeah, to your listeners, give some positive feedback on this episode so he can have me back. I really enjoy spending time with my husband inside of inside of the podcast space. So yeah, give us some whatever you do, just highlight it and share it, like it, and yeah, I would love to be back. And thank you for letting me be your first guest.
But hey, just know that whether this episode gets a lot of ratings or not, you are more than welcome to come back and hang out with me in the studio once again. It's been a while since I had you in the studio. Seems like after those first couple of episodes, you felt like I had it, and you just kind of left me in here by myself.
You have it. You got it. You're doing great.
Yes, but thank you all for tuning in,
Thank
and
you.
so everyone enjoy your Mother's Day weekend and be safe. Thank you for tuning in to another episode of the Brown Sugar Cafe podcast. Once again, I'm your host, Terrence P. Elmore, and this is the place where poetry meets conversation. Hit that follow button and turn on your notifications so you won't miss an episode. Check out my blog, thebrownsugarcafe.blog. Also connect with me on Instagram at thebrownsugarcafe. Hope you enjoyed this episode, and as always, remember, keep pushing forward.